What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got AJ in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Amy, Andy, Bill. Dan's in the house. Good morning to John, Lauren, Luciano. Good morning to you. Lydia, Martina, Rick, Tim is in the house. All my people out in YouTube land. We got Hostile. Good morning to you. B-Jal. Good morning to you. All my lurkers in the background. Ooh, we got Levy in the house. Good morning to you. The lurkers in the background just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. But whew, yeah, no, what a wild day yesterday was. We went from we went from taking out some nuclear facilities in Iran, and the market was supposed to be, I mean, on paper, they told me it was supposed to go down. I don't know. Futures ran it up. It's the first red candle, pretty much 4 or 5 minutes in, and it was just nonstop buying all day until I think I was off the mic at this point. I forget, but I think it was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we got reports that there were going to be some retaliation from Iran to some American bases, and market was a little bit panicky, and then it turned out it was like 14 bombs. I think 13 of them got away, or 13 of them got uh, intercepted, and then one of them just kind of was off target, so they kind of left it alone. But basically, yeah, we talked about that during the day, where you had that little bit of a like probably Iran retaliates because politically they kind of have to, but apparently it was all even like forecasted, saying, "Hey, we're sending this over." So we're behind that situation. Then we have 6 p.m. yesterday to add fuel to the fire. So obviously after the like, okay, it wasn't as bad of a response as it could have been. The market just absolutely just rallied after that. So very, very wild intraday. I mean, even that daily chart doesn't even show that daily candle doesn't even show exactly what happened. We were starting to hit new lows, and then right from the absolute low, we just rocketed up to new highs of the day and closed very, very strong. So Bulls are fully in control of the market at this point, and then you get the ceasefire tweet last night saying that there is a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran. Market's loving it, although I think it was this morning or earlier at least. I believe Israel did send some more, and I think Iran sent some more bombs to Israel, and they're still kind of going at it. So peace deal, kind of. At least ceasefire. By the way, ceasefire is just temporary. So until we have a peace deal, there could still be some more headlines. But Iran says, "I hope we don't hit anything." Yeah, that was kind of where we were at. But um, so again, I don't like any of the Middle East conflict. I don't like war in general, to be honest. But we have to play with the hands that were dealt in the market, and this is the topic that the market is going to be moving off of for right now. But I was even saying I was like I hate war trading. It's the absolute worst because everything is technicals they just don't matter anymore. You're just looking at okay, what's the latest headline? Who's bombing who? Who's saying there's a peace treaty? Who's saying there's not? And you're just back and forth. But after the bombing came out again from Israel bombing Iran after the ceasefire announcement, which was a very confusing announcement, I will say because it was like ceasefire agreement in like 6 hours, but then 12 hours you'll have something. So I don't know. I was confused on that one because then they're like, "But you can still bomb each other for now." I don't know. I don't know. This is why they don't let me make any big decisions, I guess. But otherwise, oh, this gap is pretty fantastic. Obviously, we're going to be looking at a retest gap from yesterday. Do you want to be buying right out of the gate? I don't know. Just because it's 2025, it's probably the best move. Otherwise, rationally speaking, probably not. I love where we're open. We're very close to the recent highs that we just put in on June 11th. But we have a VPOC at 603.71. That would have there would have been, and pretty much at close, we closed into a resistance. So that's fine. You would think that we're opening at 601.97. Maybe we get a gap up to like 602.59. Big resistance. Have there been no gap? 603.61. So we're above all that. We're looking really, really strong. We do have a pretty big resistance ahead of us still. That takes us into 604.84, but where did that candle come into already into that spot? And that is a little bit easier to be taken out. There's from back here, there's a couple resistance spots, but we've messed with all those. I think the next spot we're looking for is 609.07 on the SPY. How we get there, I don't know. Again, small high wave candle. I would be looking for 603.71. I don't think we retest that candle today unless we get some kind of headlines. We do have Jerome Powell speaking. I think Jerome Powell is going to speak at 10 a.m. today, so maybe some catalyst there. He already put out some comments today. He still seems a little bit more bearish than dovish, so we'll see how that wants to play out. But I probably I would assume we get some kind of pullback, and if we do, 603.71, maybe we get down into like this 602.69 or 602.07, but somewhere in that. If we end up retesting, that's not going to look a it's not going to look super super strong for the bulls, a full on retest, but maybe a little bit. I don't know. Help me out here. A little bit of a pullback. But we have a lot of room to the bullish side still, so I'd still be fairly bullish in the markets, and then it's just a matter of maybe a little patience at open to get there. If we get some dips, I'd probably be, unless we get a headline that just negates everything of the reasons why we ran up, I'd probably be looking to buy some dips. Qs look super strong as well. Not too shabby for the Qs. Good gap. Bigger resistance on this one was 535.13. Now we've taken that out. We're actually at I think we're still inside that candle from July or June 11th, but very high end of it. Other than that, again, big retest gap from here. Even this was like an inside of that. So now that's a little more gap and go-ish. I don't know. This market could just wait. This market open and rip, to be honest. Uh, Qs have a little bit of resistance above us. The next spot, not too far away. That's 537.60. Then you got 539.13 and 539. So a little less room on the Qs unless we're going to hit all-time highs on the Qs today. Oof, that's wild. That is wild. Yeah, SPY has a lot more room to run than the Qs do. But that doesn't mean the Qs can't keep pace. And if Qs keep pace with the SPY, considering they're both moving bullish, today, tomorrow, we see all-time highs in Qs. Kind of a wild thought and concept considering the panic Saturday. Lucian says could be all-time highs for Qs today. Yeah, it's not that far. That is just I don't know. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy that we're potentially hitting all-time highs on Qs after the fear and panic that was Saturday, Sunday. Bitcoin is still hanging out. Really, really good day yesterday. Small retracement today. So again, maybe we get that small retracement, a slight pullback in the rest of the market as well. I'm kind of looking for maybe some kind of resting candle, small pullback, and then we buy it. But I don't know. The Qs actually kind of look really, really strong just with that resistance above us, though. You got Bitcoin is again just kind of hanging out, but we haven't put in a higher high yet, so that's my one issue with Bitcoin still. It's not really an issue, just that's what's happening, but you still have lower highs in this one, lower high. If we don't start breaking out of this pivot right here, that's still just another lower high, and then we got lower lows. So we're still just kind of doing this thing, this little pennant pattern, which is pretty far extended. The longer that goes, the bigger the break in either direction will be. But we're kind of at the high end of it. Again, the spot that I want to take out on Bitcoin is probably we want to get some closing back above this 107, 107.06, 076. I don't know who reads a number like I just did, but what $107,076. If we can get a close above that, we start getting that new higher high coming in. So we will see. Some of you guys got some tickers already, so let's take a look. KTOS is the first one I see. Defense security. Be careful. So yeah, deal peace treaty thing. I don't know. Maybe by the end of today, that entire thing is off the table and we just reverse again. I couldn't tell you. It's just going crazy. Which is part of war, I guess. There's just sticky situations everywhere. But you have defense and security solutions. I'm not sure how involved they are in the war. I'm just going off of defense names. You did have a pretty big gap up, or you had a good bullish pop at one point and then kind of came down. If this is related to anything defense-wise, I'm not sure that it is. It's got aerospace defense technology. I'm not sure what this company does, but right now, just on a technical basis, it still looks fairly bullish, although they did give you a pretty good warning sign. Little inverted hammer, lots of volume on this one. Um, Again, if it has anything else to do besides contracting or government security or anything like that, then it's going to be completely different than what I'm saying. If there is a ceasefire deal actually in place and progressions, and I think that's what the market's kind of happy about, is regardless of if it's solid in rock in stone, you probably have like at least it's calmer tensions, it seems like, which anything defense, this would be a run up into probably escalation into war. That might be a very good reversal candle. It still looks pretty healthy bullish. You're still above some key spots. You still have all those moving averages that could give you some support. But if we start to lose the war story a little bit, I would expect this. I would expect what is it, LMT, some of those names to pull back after they've already kind of run up until the next headline comes out. But maybe if you're trying to take a swing on this one, attempting a reversal, probably with that volume, 46.71 would be my stop, and then really the first. I mean, that's a good reversal candle, but if you get some closing below 42.76, it might have a little bit of a pullback, at least to like 39.79, and then we kind of go from there based on, I guess, the headlines that come out. So, interesting one to watch. I think I don't know if we have a day trade on it because we do have support fairly pretty close. We hit this one yesterday, 43.14, and then we have 42.75. It was a retest candle, technically from open, but if you're going to try it as a swing trade, stop above that high wave candle, especially with all that volume that did come in there as well. Tesla audio is choppy. Is anybody else having some audio issues? Do I sound choppy? Emily says no. All right, Sabine saying audio is choppy today. Just wiggle the wire on your speaker. That's probably it. So far, everybody else is saying no, no issue to that. So just give it a little wiggle. If that doesn't work, plan B is usually just to kick it sometimes. Don't actually kick it. I don't want to be responsible for broken speakers. Yeah, Tesla is still, I mean, absolutely crazy day. We've been talking about this in the mastery group as well for quite some time, where all of this consolidation, and of course, you don't know which way it's going to break. But you have one big bull flag. You have this volume candle right here. Big big little uh freak out day when Musk starts fighting with Trump. Other than that, bull flag. This candle was actually your breakout. This candle was your retest, and then you get a gap and go above it. It moved too quickly. I mean, I was still in there on calls, but it just opened and ran yesterday. Today you have a spot I was looking for. If you, I don't know if you want to short this thing, but I'm kind of terrified of it. But if you do want to short it, anywhere yesterday, even though it was just a big massive day, trust me, it was tempting. But I think if you could start getting back into this 362 zone, so I have like 362.45-ish. I think if you get up there, you have a better shot in terms of shorting. Today is a retest gap at open. You're still inside day. Maybe we'll see if there's a little pullback first, and that might have just even happened pre-market. But you got 351.04 should be a good level of support for you. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to short this one. I don't really want to go long here too, knowing that there's that bigger resistance up there. I'm not really afraid to miss it if it keeps going, because if it does, we'll get up here and then we'll start using that 362.10 as some kind of support, which would take us up to that next level. So right here, nah, I don't really get great risk reward unless you just are under the belief that you do break through that 362 zone. Other than that, I'd say if you wait for a pullback, get into that 351 zone, and then you have at least maybe about a $11 move to the higher side from there. Stops are going to be rough. I don't know really where, I mean, your real stop at this point is still technically under here. That's for swing trade. So you're gonna have to find some intraday levels, maybe double bottom, something like that, and then see if you can buy it up if it comes down. But if you're still in it, looks good. I do think it's headed to that 362 zone. We've been there before. That kind of matches up with another little pivot, good volume zone from February 19th. We've got through that already, which takes us to the next target on Tesla after we break through 362. Um, I have a lot of looks like a lot of consolidation somewhere around 394.87. Not really too much more kind of before that. So, and then even volume on the side. Yeah, last hurrah for Tesla. This 360 zone, we start getting above it. We start to get to a spot where there's really no volume. And on this one, I have about 390.94, 390.34. So that would look good in that direction. I think you got about $30 more to the higher side. If we could get a nice close kind of above that last little pivot, looks pretty good. Lululemon. Yeah, I was looking at this one. Interesting looking hammer yesterday. It is a gap and go. Biggest thing on this one, and you've definitely you might be a little oversold on this one. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 down days in a row. Just cannot catch a breath. So at this point, I'd still consider this catching a falling knife. There's been no bounce yet, so you could look to play it two ways. Um, Gap and go, take a swing trade, stop somewhere around 219.85. Where you get in, that's up to you, and we'll talk about that in a second. But there's been no bounce, so maybe you want to wait a little bit on this one, where you get some kind of a bounce since it's 240, kind of rolls back, you get that double bottom, playing it over here somewhere. Might set you up for a more solid trade, unless this thing obviously just V shapes out of here, and then you miss your whole trade. So up to you, what's in your trading plan? Other than that, the real high volume candle is, let's see, I think it's this day right here. No. Yep. That day right here. And I also got the Lux Algo volume zone somewhere around 262.35. That's where I think the real resistance probably comes in. That would be a pretty high bounce, I think. But that's probably where I would throw my target. Somewhere around 362 on this one. Other than that, good hammer for today. Nice gap and go above it. You do have two levels right here, two VPOCs. And this is probably what would maybe hold me off on my day trade until we actually get through it. But that takes me to about somewhere around this 229.33 zone. Two yeah, 229.33. So for today, maybe we just get a small push into that one. It hasn't had any bulls, even though the market is kind of rampaging a little bit. Bulls haven't really stepped in. I like this 220 level a lot. I like that bounce off that 220. I saw that hammer closing yesterday. I was tempted to. But for this one, I'd say if this one wants to chop around a bit, that resistance is there. If we start breaking through 229.33-ish, then you do have a really good trade on your hands. Probably up to about 235.53. Gives you about $6. And then you're probably using this 228 as your backstop. So we'll see what happens on this one. Otherwise, if this one wants to come down, it is a good looking hammer. Okay volume. I wish there was a little bit more volume on it. But you're looking at 225.79 would be your next buy spot if this thing doesn't open and just kind of bang on out of there. But yeah, very interesting. I like it. I wanted in all fairness, I wanted to stay down there another week. I got the long-term deposit rolling in next week. And no matter where Lululemon is at, unless it just skyrockets to like 400, I'm going to be adding some more shares of Lulu to the long term. So the lower the better for me. All right, let's see what else we got. CCL. Yeah, Carnival Cruise. And I think they do have earnings tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, today. Okay, so earnings already came out. All right, I don't have the numbers. I thought it was actually tonight. But yeah, I don't have the numbers on it. But my guess with that gap up is they were probably pretty decent. Or at least the market is taking it bullishly. The other thing with this one is everything kind of cruise line, airlines, all those guys were pulling back due to escalation in the Middle East, higher oil prices, that cuts into their profits. And if there is de-escalation, if there actually is de-escalation, I don't know again, who knows? But if there is, then I would be looking for probably the reversal on Carnival Cruise, Norwegian, maybe even RCL, although I think that one stayed up pretty strong. Check the airlines, AAL, DAL, all those guys. Even Gold kind of was getting a little frisky. I did play some GLL, which is the inverted uh, ETF for gold. I bought it after hours last night on the news, and then I just sold it about 25, maybe like, I don't know, 35 minutes ago, something like that. So I'm out of it now, but just kind of playing it for the pop. All of those things would be ones to look at. So look at any of those names beat up specifically because of the war, and if it's not up too much. Carnival Cruise does have earnings or had earnings that came out already. So again, I don't have those numbers. Pretty nice gap up. Retest gap for sure, and then you do have a little bit of resistance at 25.67. I don't know. I'd be careful buying it here. I don't think this is probably the right spot to buy. See if this one wants to pull back. Look for at least a little support back into like 24.59. I don't think I want to see a full-on retest of yesterday's candle on that one either. Um, NCLH. Let's take a look at that one since we can do a little pair trading on it. This one is obviously not gapping as much. I think maybe the focus might be Norwegian over Carnival today. You have a still a gap up, not as strong as a move as Carnival, but Carnival also has the earnings. These guys they do have earnings coming out July 31st, so we have a little bit of time for that one, but retest gap into a little resistance. You have your first little support at like $19.11. I think that's a fairly good support. Kind of want to see what happens there. Otherwise, if this one pulls back to like 18.92, maybe that's your buy spot on that one. Otherwise, bigger targets to the higher side. If we clear through all this, I think $19.52 is a pretty strong level. MU, yeah, I saw that one too. Another gap. These guys. If you missed it, you missed it. What we count? Like 11 or 12 days of buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 days of buying in a row. We finally get one red candle, and they don't let that sit too long. So you do have a nice gap up above that red candle. Again, it's most of this is just, even though that is a gap and go from yesterday, that is a lot of buying. There's a lot of people profitable, waking up to some profits on this move. However, I guess your next little volume zone 127.09. And then if you get through that, I think you got about 130.71. I don't think we hit the 130.71 today. But let's see if I got some better levels up here somewhere. Getting into a little bit of a sticky spot, yeah. I think today your target, bullish direction could take you to about 127.81, unless this market is just going to hit all-time highs today, which I don't know. Oddly, it could happen. We'll see. We got Roku. Oh, and then there's one other one that we should probably take a look at too. Let's see. Roku looks decent. Nice little hammer. Again, a lot of these hammers. The market just all did the same thing yesterday. Um, Pretty good location on open. Obviously, you have some momentum starting to come to Roku. You've got bigger targets up to like the $95 zone. I think I'd be looking for like 82.32 as some kind of resistance for today. Doesn't mean you can't get through it, especially if the market wants to stay bullish. If you can get through it, though, your next target, probably about $85. We've been there, but even to get to that point, you have a really good trade. I don't know if you have great risk reward if we stall out at 82.32. Maybe worth a try. That is a green candle from yesterday. Small. Look for a high wave candle, I think, on this one. Let's put this one higher. Nice bullish flag that we put in. A little bit of a bear trap on this one. Even that bear trap bounced off a very good support zone 78.74. So I think it looks good. Small pullback, high wave candle, and then you're just hoping you break through this 82.20 zone somewhere around there. And then I think you got $85 in sights. SoFi. SoFi, good gap up, technically a retest as well. Just like the rest of the market, a lot of these things look exactly the same. You have a little bit of resistance. I'm not sure how much resistance that spot really matters. I think your next kind of bigger spot, next okay spot would be 1591. Then you got 1632, and then probably your final target, which I think can happen today, $16.38. Again, maybe not right at open. Technically, it's a little bit of a retest, but even that retest is weak. I mean, that's high wave candle, something like that. You got a little bit of room, a couple spots that could hold you back. FI is the one that you might have. Well, it's definitely in headlines. So Mastercard and Visa started getting a little killed on the stablecoin news of Walmart just creating their own stablecoin, Amazon creating their own stablecoin, and fear panic for Visa and Mastercard. Although I think probably they're fine long term. However, Mastercard partnered with these guys, so you're seeing a nice little gap up on this one. Again, it is going to be a retest gap. Maybe see what happens at open. Don't be the first one to jump in. But I think something like this today, and on the chart, you're looking fairly decent. I mean, I wish I would have been paying attention to this one back at 159. That was a really, really good bounce spot right off support. So if it doesn't want to fly today, if this thing wants to pull back, I think that would be a good spot to at least keep on the watch list for the next couple days. See if we get some more momentum. If it is a retest for today, you might get some follow through on that one for tomorrow. Coinbase, COIN. Coinbase. Again, good gap up. That one's got heavy resistance on it. And then Bitcoin did have a big day today, so unless they have individual news for today, and maybe the Mastercard partnership with stablecoin somehow is beneficial just in the ecosystem of crypto. Otherwise, you do have some heavy resistance we're coming into. I don't think, yeah, I think the better thing is be patient on this one. That's quite the gap though. You got 307.40. So yeah, I'd wait on this one. Put it on the watch list. See if this one wants to pull back. If it doesn't, then they probably don't get DJ's money today. I would need that one at 307. 307.81 would be the spot I have to wait for. If it doesn't do what I want it to, it just keeps going higher. Look for targets. You have a little bit of room to like 320, 312. I don't necessarily think it's an easy path to get up there though. Let's see what else we're missing. Carnival Cruise was 35 cents versus 24. That's a good beat. 45.8% beat. Nice. We got Meta. Meta was looking good yesterday. Microsoft was looking real good yesterday. I just missed that trade. Yeah, Meta looks actually really, really good. Oh, there's the bell. Targets on Meta, if it could go a little bit higher, I think you got 716.32 on the horizon. It's pulling back a little bit. Might be a good buy, the dip opportunity, but we'll see where this thing wants to stall out. I would like to see if we get down to like 702.19-ish, somewhere in that zone. Other than that, everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons if you have not done so already. You guys are incredible. Be